Today's lab will be the flame test lab. In our lab today, we'll be working with a few different materials, and here is a picture of them. The first thing you're going to see when you go to your stations is something called a well plate. This is the well plate, and it looks like a little piece of plastic with multiple bowls inside. We'll use that today to add a few drops of different solutions from their dropper bottles into each individual well. The next thing you'll have at your station are two beakers. Inside of those beakers, you will have hydrochloric acid and distilled water. Remember, hydrochloric acid is corrosive and will burn your skin, so make sure to wear gloves when using hydrochloric acid and take extreme caution. Also, if you notice, they are both clear liquids. So make sure that you read the label on the side to determine if it is hydrochloric acid or water when disposing properly at the end of the lab. Moving on, you will have your labeled sheet to determine what you have at your station. Here we have copper chloride and this copper 2+ ion inside. We also have something called a nichrome wire. This here is a nichrome wire. At the end, there is a little circle, which will be important for us later on in the lab. Lastly, you'll need two things. You'll need a Bunsen burner and a striker. When you get to each station in the lab, the first thing you want to do is make sure your nichrome wire is clean. To do that, you can take your nichrome wire and you're going to dip it into the solution of hydrochloric acid. After you've done that, you can take that and dip it into the water to take off the hydrochloric acid. Lastly, once that is completely cleaned, you can take your wire and you can dip it into your solution that will be in the well plate. Once you move it around in your solution, last step will to take that wire and dip it directly into the flame of the Bunsen burner. Again, this is your Bunsen burner here, and you're going to put it through the flame and watch for something to happen. If nothing happens, please return to step 1, clean the wire, rinse the wire, and try again. Again, this is the flame test lab. In our materials that we have today are a dropper bottle of your solution. You'll also have a well plate with multiple different wells to use. You will have something called a nichrome wire, which is this here, that has a circle at the end. Two beakers, one with hydrochloric acid, one with distilled water, and your Bunsen burner and your striker. Most importantly, please remember to write all of your data in your data table. Today you'll be working with multiple different metal ions, so you have to make sure you write the solution color and the color of the flame, and then determine the wavelength of that color. Throughout the lab today, remember to always wear our goggles. Also remember the importance of how we work with hydrochloric acid. Ensure that you are safe and you walk slowly throughout the lab if you are moving hydrochloric acid at any time. Also ensure that if any drips happen on the countertop, you call the teacher over to clean it up properly so no one gets burned by the acid. Again, this is the flame test lab. And this nichrome wire, one of the most important things for the lab today is to ensure it's clean. And we will clean it today using our acid solution and our distilled water. In the lab today, there will be stations set up. Each station will have one ion. Once you've completed that ion, you make sure you turn off your Bunsen burner and move on to the next station. If you have any questions, you can ask me at the beginning of class tomorrow, but ensure that you not only watch this video, you complete the pre-lab questions at the beginning of your packet, otherwise you will not be allowed in the lab. Lastly, make sure you are wearing long pants and you are not wearing open-toed shoes to follow our safety procedures in the lab. Thank you.